The Jim and Terry Show, coming to you from the Hobbit Hole Studio in Bobcaygeon. I'm one of your hosts, Terry.
And I'm the other host, Jim.
Yes, with me in the Hobbit Hole Studio. Not much room. We have our elbows up. We can probably give each other a Gordy-out check in the corner. We're going to start out talking about AI.
Yes, wow. You sent me one of your songs by Wigmore
Allen
Gibbons. And I liked it. It looked like it would have been a brand new release by Nickelback. It was balanced. It had dynamics to it. And I think I replied to you saying, what about the rest of us? I mean, it was so polished and so nice. I was blown away with it.
So we are continuing to talk about the impact of AI. As we know, we came off of a Screenwriters Guild strike over this thing. We came over an Actors Guild strike where the actors did not want their bodies scanned or their voices scanned or anything else that's fabricated that's not them in person showing up at the studio or showing up wherever so that they can actually perform as opposed to be sampled and then have somebody direct it.
Yeah, and I can see why they would be upset, and I can see the problems. You know what this reminds me of? What I think it was Boston's second album out, and they had a disclaimer on the album saying no keyboards were used in the recording. And we're going to have to do the same. We're going to have to say no AI was involved in the production or making of this. And the reason I say that is I don't think we can beat AI. And I don't think the human attention span is long enough to realize I'm actually now a fan of Glargnarg. And Glargnarg is the best vocalist I've ever heard, and it's just computer generated. So I think what mankind's going to have to do is literally go the reverse and really underproduce everything we do. If you've got a message you need to get across, a love song because you're brokenhearted, do it and make it human. Where right back to the old days in the 1920s or something when the Guthrie.
Arlo Guthrie?
Thank you. Arlo Guthrie and them.
And Woody Guthrie.
Would just have their guitars and play, and that was it, and that's what you got on the recording, I just want to say I love you so.
Right, a 1930s protest song.
Yeah, and I think that might be the way we're going to have to go, because it's going to eliminate any humanity, because they can write a song in 5 minutes.
I think where we're going is that we're going to go back to live performances.
That'd be wonderful.
Do you remember the Milli Vanilli controversy?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so for our studio audience, if you're not aware of it, Milli Vanilli was the first known got caught lip syncing.
Yeah, they didn't do the vocals.
They didn't.
They just didn't do the vocals. And there's probably a lot more of that out there than you can imagine. I was allegedly, I'm just going to say this so we don't get sued or something, but I was talking to my brother Bobby. The Rolling Stones have been around for such a long time. I would not be surprised if in the recording studio in which they record in, that they already have every lick that Keith Richards has ever laid down, and he just has to say, I want an E, B, C, whatever, bang, 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 and they can paste that together, and he already knows what it is. He plays in the same style. And so that might be what's going on even now in studios.
With the originals.
Yeah. Like the great Bruce Springsteen, how wonderful is his live band? How much of it is canned? I don't know, maybe none. And I'm hoping none.
Yeah.
But it's so polished, so polished.
Well, let's go back to Boston, because you said something interesting. No keyboards were used.
Yeah.
That's because the guy in Boston was not just a guitarist, but he was an electronic engineer.
Yes.
And he created most of the effects used on the guitars and on the vocals.
Mm-hmm.
He did it all himself. So really, he means to put the disclaimer, I didn't do any of this stuff using a keyboard. I just wanted my guitar to sound like a keyboard.
Yes,
so I did all of this engineering, but I didn't play a keyboard.
Yeah.
It's
and
all
I think,
guitar.
Again, allegedly, I think it was Boston that disclaimer was there, just to let people know. And I can see that I'm a guitarist. I want you to know we didn't use keyboards. And if you come and see us, maybe he would say, you're going to see no keyboard. You're going to hear a
Right.
keyboard, but it's not a keyboard. It's
Right.
me playing my guitar.
Right. So I'm not sure what the difference is if you hire a keyboardist and they play this stuff. What's the difference between you playing the stuff on your guitar?
Well, you
and-
don't have to pay him, do you?
Oh, it's all about wages.
Well,
It could be.
I've been listening too much to the Red Hot Chili Peppers,
Oh yeah.
and I've got
Vintage
earworms.
stuff, like original or what?
Yeah, like the original. And what I notice is they basically are just three instruments playing, and of course the lead singer. And I like that because that would be my viewpoint of a band, where you can actually be exactly like the record,
Yep.
where you got the bass, the guitar, the drums, and the singer. Yeah, and I think that's what I'd like my stuff to eventually come around to being. Like when I eventually send mine to you, one of my messages
I'm not
is
going to
to
hold
you.
my breath.
Yeah, no, I really want to do that. That's my next step. I'm going to send you Phantom Hair. But I don't want it to be overdone.
Yep.
I want it to be more of I could have a band. I don't mind keyboard, guitar, bass, drums. That kind of thing. We'll see. Whatever you think's
on
best.
my
You-
end of things,
yeah.
don't forget production
That's
can
your
be
thing.
simply,
Yeah.
but that's my thing. But the instructions from you is I want my voice and I want my guitar and I want my bass. And
Yeah.
fine.
And you put the drums in. We've already
and that's
discussed
it.
that. Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Or a
legit.
keyboard.
That's still
you can put a keyboard, whatever you think might be added. And I also said you could put a vocal in if you want. If I don't put a vocal, backup vocal, you can.
Now, this takes us back to the days of the old Pefferlaw worship team and,
yeah.
singing along with you. And that was fun.
Yeah,
It was fun to do harmonies with you and fun to sing with you.
Yeah.
And so, getting back to that would be really
So
good.
in other words, I think my little personal war as an old man, my little personal war now is, okay, screw you, AI. I'm going to go back and be human.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not going to be able to doubt it because it's not going to be perfect. And I never liked when music became perfect. I never liked it.
Yeah, you got a good point
Yeah.
there. We can iron out all the wrinkles on our shirts, the wrinkles on our skin.
Yeah.
We can iron out the wrinkles in our music with software.
Yeah, and it's funny, but I remember hearing The Who. It was a live TV production, their final goodbye out of Toronto, Maple Leaf Gardens. And at the end, I think it was Pete Townsend said something about, well, made a few mistakes. And I'm going, that was just great. Never mind the mistakes. It was
We
just great.
aspired to the level where we could make those mistakes.
Yeah. So that's what I would like.
Yeah.
AI is probably going to be good in a lot of areas, but they call him the godfather of AI. Says if we don't do something, it will kill us. It doesn't need us.
You and I discussed around the breakfast table this morning that 50 Shades of Grey, meaning that everything is gray, and I used the book The Giver and the film to talk about when everything is perceived in grayscale with no color, no texture. Everything's flat, one dimension, or two-dimensional at best. And is that the way AI is going to take humanity, so that it's all two-dimensional, flat, no shades other than the gray that we see? And it's, the old Melba toast analogy. It's just like pablum. It's got no texture to it, no taste, no spice.
Well, imagine Taylor Swift, who just released a new album. And
The new album.
Imagine
Ground
it would
vocals.
also probably be creepy if I really was. Anyways, but what if she just came with lyrics and they let AI write the music? Yeah, write all the music. And it would be awful. And that's where we stop again, Terry, I think.
No, I think we're still going.
Okay, good. We're having trouble.
We're battling AI.
We're having technical.
I think AI is listening
AI is jealous of us.
and sending
mad at
error
us.
messages.
But imagine if that's what she did.
Yeah.
And AI pumped out the music, and then all you do is you have a beautiful, fantastic stage show, and all it is the music you've recorded pumping through the speakers, maybe minus your voice.
So
That's
again,
it.
we're going back to a Milli Vanilli lip syncing.
Well, not really. It'd be her voice, and I guess you can justify all of it. And allegedly here, I'm not saying she's doing this, but imagine how that would take away from the authenticity of a show where the performers are actually playing their guitars and the backup singers are actually singing and everybody's doing what they're doing.
Well, you wouldn't have to worry about getting a case of laryngitis if the cue is the music that's already pre-recorded.
Yeah, well, I told you before earlier in this show that the drummer from Celine Dion said that she had help in the backup.
Yeah.
Now, that might have been a one-time thing because she was struggling.
Yeah,
and the
she
show
did have a
must go
disorder for her
on.
voice.
And the
yeah.
show must go on.
The show must go on.
But I
yeah.
think what I'm now going to lean a little bit more to is back to a little bit more of a folk type idea of what's going to be pleasing to me, because I really want the human aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Writing about today's situations, writing about where the how the future looks to you, or a broken heart, where you're there with your guitar and the person in the front row has a little tear.
Are you going to sit on the street corners of Pefferlaw and have an open guitar case and panhandle?
Not panhandle, but maybe.
An open guitar case. That's taking it back to the original story. OG Jim. Take care now. Bye-bye.
Though the sweat of my brow and the toil of my hands has got me so far into this promised land.